I gotta be honest with you. When I first heard about Birds of Prey, I wasn't even going to see this film. The only reason why I saw it was because I saw that the Rotten Tomatoes score had gone up to 90%. And it was shocking to me because I was like, how could this film be better than something like The Joker, which is nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture? We'll see if it wins this Sunday. I highly doubt that, but that's a different kind of conversation. So I wasn't expecting much at all from this film, and my curiosity got the best of me. So I went to the movie theater last night and I checked this film out, and I gotta say I was thoroughly surprised. Okay, Suicide Squad from 2016. That was, in my opinion, one of the worst films I had ever seen in my life, especially in the superhero, supervillain category. I thought that it was incoherent, it was messy, it was all over the place. So I was kind of expecting the same thing here. But it seems like Warner Brothers and DC have turned over a new leaf and they're trying something new, which is actually focusing on storytelling in their own way and leaving the Marvel humor, family-friendly stuff to Marvel, moving forward and paving their own path, which is what a lot of fans have wanted from them anyway. So it seems like they're finally getting the hint, because Birds of Prey is a wonderful film. It's not the best film in the world, and it's probably not going to convince any DC haters out there that DC movies are something they should go and see. But if you've kind of been on the fence like me, just kind of trying to see what DC is going to do, how they're going to switch up their style a bit, then you may want to check this movie out, because I think that they're making the right moves here. Hands down, the best part of this film is Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She went back to the drawing board. She studied the character, and she came back with more confidence, more humor, and just more comfort. She seems like she's Harley Quinn now. I wasn't a huge fan of her in Suicide Squad. I know that's like a crazy thing to say because a lot of people loved her character. She was very popular. I just didn't like what she did with it. Maybe she just didn't have enough to do. But in this film, it's focusing mostly on her and just kind of what her motivations are, what she's been doing since that last movie. And you just get a lot more of her. Margot Robbie has a lot more to do. She has a lot more to explore. And it just really works. And that's not the only good thing about the film, but I kind of do want to talk about some of the bad things, because there are some. I mean, we can't act like it's a perfect movie. Number one, Black Mask. While he is an interesting character overall, I feel like his character was wasted, and that's mostly because I know Black Mask. I know who he's supposed to be. And they kind of changed him up quite a bit. Yes, he's sadistic. And yes, he's crazy. And he does all this menacing stuff and everything. But I never once felt scared of him. I never once felt like I would be in danger if I was there. Okay? In this film, he's mostly a misogynistic psychopath. And while that is a scary thing, his character just came off as cartoony and silly for the most part. In the middle of doing all this crazy stuff, it didn't work for me. If you're a fan of Black Mask, you're a fan of the comics, you're either going to really love what they did with his character here, or you're going to hate it. I hated it. I was not a fan. Ewan McGregor, he tries to make it work, and he does have some genuinely funny scenes, but for the most part, even though it was well acted, I just feel like it was something. I feel like they could have done something else with his character. In this film, Margot Robbie being her Harley Quinn, being like this crazy, over the top character and everything, who has all these witty lines, that works for her character, sure. But I don't think any other people should be like her, because she's the only one like her, in my opinion. So to kind of make him up there with her and Joker and all that, it didn't work for me. It works for the movie and the story that they're trying to tell. He fits into the world, but they really could have done something different with his character, in my opinion. And the ending of the film with him, I didn't like that at all. What they do, you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. No. All right. The actual Birds of Prey, because that's what this film is called, I feel like that's another missed opportunity here, because Margot Robbie is such a great actress and she has so much screen time, and the movie is so focused on her that you rarely get a chance to really explore some of these other characters here. They kind of throw in like a flashback here or there, or throw in a line about a character's past. But for the most part, you don't really get to know any of these other characters. The only one who stood out for me personally was Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress. Now, I could be a little biased because I really like that actress. You may recognize her from Scott Pilgrim Saves the World, or maybe even more recently, Cloverfield Lane. Other than the fact that I really like her, I feel like she's the only character besides Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey who got a legitimate backstory and actually had like some legitimate, funny, cool scenes. Everyone else was just kind of there. I mean, Black Canary has some pretty cool scenes, but you don't really know much about her character. You don't really care about what happens to her. She's just kind of there. And it's the same thing with the rest of them. They're just there. And it really sucks, because if you're naming a film Birds of Prey, you would think that you would give some of these other characters some screen time, which is the same problem that Suicide Squad had, where you had all of these characters, but you didn't know anything about more than maybe 2 or 3 of them. And so when things happened or when they died, you didn't care. They were disposable. And that was the same thing that happened here. Maybe they were just trying to get them together for a sequel. That's great. Maybe over time we'll begin to care for these characters. But for now, that whole thing with the team and all that, it just didn't work for me. I'm sorry. Maybe you'll feel differently if you see the film. But for me, I just wasn't a fan of some of those other characters. Now we can talk about some of the good stuff, okay? The action scenes in this film are over the top, they're crazy, and they're really cool. If I had to compare this movie to anything, it would have to be 2010's Kick-Ass. That film was funny, it was hyper violent, and it was something new and different. Now, I don't think that this movie reaches the same heights as Kick-Ass, but I do feel like there's a lot of similarities there. Just the overall vibe and feel, and some of that grittiness that movie had, this movie definitely has. And if you were a fan of that film like I was, there's a lot for you to really enjoy here. As far as the plot goes, it's not very strong. It's extremely simple. Just everybody trying to find this diamond. Black Mass puts out a hit to find someone who has a diamond, and of course you have Harley Quinn and Huntress and Black Canary, whoever else, just kind of getting roped into this thing to find this item and get it back to him. And there's some double crossing and all of that, but there's no like insane plot twist or anything. It's very, very straightforward, by the numbers, so don't expect anything super crazy there. But the plot being so simple really gives the cast a lot of time to, do their own thing and just have a lot of fun. And fun is really important, because this movie is super, super fun. It's super funny. You're going to have a great time when you go to see this. If you liked Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, you just get a lot more of her. And the movie doesn't take itself too seriously. A lot of the characters make a lot of jokes, and the humor doesn't take away from what's actually happening on screen. So I think that, if you're going for a good time at the movie theater, you can't go wrong with this film. I'm actually a little disappointed, because since a lot of people didn't like Suicide Squad, I don't think a lot of people are going to go and check this movie out. And it sucks, because it's actually one of DC's better offerings. It's good. It's a good movie. Although I do have to say this. There is a lot of women power, rah-rah stuff in here. Even the song that plays during the end of the film is like, a female anthem type deal. And of course, the movie is about Harley Quinn basically becoming independent of the Joker. And there's a lot of that in the movie. So if you are one of those people that don't want those kind of political things preaching in their film, there is some of that in here. It doesn't necessarily beat you over the head, but it's there and it's very obvious. So I do have to say that, because a lot of films have had that in their, they just had those kind of messages and everything out there. A lot of the guys in this movie are just complete misogynists. They're doing terrible things to women. There's a lot of violence, male on female violence in this film. If that kind of stuff doesn't make you feel good, or if you don't like to see that kind of thing, then this may not be the film for you. I didn't like that all the guys were evil. I didn't like that, so much female violence was going on. I just didn't understand why that was necessary. But hey, what can you do? It's 2020. But other than that, other than those few flaws, I really had a good time watching this. Again, Margot Robbie, it seems like she's here to stay as far as Harley Quinn goes. And I wouldn't mind seeing another film, but I really want them to focus on some of the other characters there. Huntress, Black Canary. There's 2 other characters who got even less screen time, which is why I can't remember who they are. But yeah, focus on those other characters. Give them a little bit more background so that we actually know who they are and care. Okay? But I would love to see a Birds of Prey 2. I enjoyed it. I think you will too. What did you guys think of this review? Have you seen the movie? If you have, what did you think? Are you excited for another Birds of Prey, or do you really think they should let this whole Harley Quinn, Suicide Squad, universe go and start off with something new? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you have not done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can get more content like this, which contains movie news, reviews, and reactions from your boy Derek right here at Anamanji. Don't forget to click that like button, and do not forget to click that bell notification so that you will know when I post again. That's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay dope.